And what it is, what it do with the whoop whoop. It is me, it is her, it is she, it is I, Miss Tamika Renee Bly. Back with another episode of Uncomfortable Conversations. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you may be. I hope you're in good spirits. I've had a rough couple of days. I've been a little razzle dazzled. But I'm okay. I could complain, but for what? It's not gonna change anything, you know what I mean? I'm okay. I'm okay. Again, I hope you're in good spirits. Okay. If you're new, welcome. If you've been a supporter, welcome. Been back. Welcome, been back. I'm going to get into the affirmation and the quote. And from the affirmation and the quote, you're going to know where I'm headed with this one. Okay. The affirmation for today is, I am more than my story and my trauma. I am more than my story and my trauma. I am more than my story and my trauma. And the quote for today is, your trauma is not your fault, but healing is your responsibility. Your trauma is not your fault, but healing is your responsibility. So I'm going to get into childhood traumas now. And I'm going to start with mine. There are 3 things that in my childhood traumatized me. I would say 2 of which still somewhat affects me till this day, but for good reasons when I get into it. Okay. So, all 3 of these incidents involve my mom, who is no longer here with me, but she is my earth angel. Woot woot. So getting right to it. I had to be either 5 or 6. So what's that, 1994 or 1995? I probably was 7. So I would say between 1994 and 1996 is when this happened. So what I can recollect is coming home from school, and like I'll never forget the look on my grandmother's face. Grams is no longer here either. Got you, Grams. I can never forget the look on my grandmother's face. She said, your mom has something to tell y'all. It's me and I have 3 other siblings. And my mom sat us all down, young children. The oldest, I think my oldest sister, if I'm 5, 6, 7, she 9, 10, something like that. And she said, Mommy's sick, okay? And I remember asking, like, or saying rather, well, Mommy, just take some medicine, you know what I mean? You sick, take some medicine, you get better. But she had to explain to her 4 young children that she was sick with HIV. Of course, we're young. We don't know what that is. She reassured us that we didn't have it, of course, you know what I mean? But good thing for us, our grandmother worked at a health clinic where there were pamphlets informing us on, you know, HIV, AIDS, and everything that ties into it. So we were looking at these pamphlets, not really knowing, you know, what we're looking at. But, you know, I'm just saying we had access to the information regarding the disease that my mom now had. And what she told us was she got it from, you know, her boyfriend, who failed to disclose to her that he had it. But she also told us that there were people trying to warn her. There were people coming, you know, saying, hey, you know, such and such got that thing, you know, such and such is sick. And she's like, but I was so in love, you know, my man. She said, I thought these bitches was hating on me. But they really were trying to warn her and look out for her. You know, blinded by love. So he failed to disclose that information to my mom, and, you know, she's now infected with it, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about how that traumatized me. Because I'm going to speak about the experience, and I'm going to talk about how it traumatized me. How this experience traumatized me was, for a long time, at least once I got older, to fully understand, you know, what it is she had, you know what I mean, to actually make sense of the whole situation. Once I lost my virginity, I said, oh no, it's just you and I forever. You know what I mean? Let's make sure you clean. I know I'm good because I wasn't with nobody before you. But, you know, once that happened, I was like, oh yeah, I can't give my body to any and everybody. And my mom also educated us on that. You know, make sure that you're using protection. You know, make sure that you're not going for the okie doke, you know what I mean? When these niggas try to come and run game. And for my brother, when these females try to come on some shit, you always strap up, you know. And for her girls, she told us, you know, carry your own condoms, okay? Carry your own condoms. Even if you are active with the same person, still get a checkup every 6 months, you know. You know, just be mindful and be aware. Don't give your body to everybody. And furthermore, be safe when you do decide to give your body to somebody. So for a long time for me, the trauma part was, okay, like, I kind of don't want to sleep with nobody. Because I'm just immediately scared, like I'm going to catch something. Not saying, you know, I'm going in trying to raw dog everybody. No, that's not what it was. But because my mom got infected, like, the shit scared the shit out of me. And I was, and now, stingy with the twat. Because, you know what I mean? Like, that shit still scares the shit out of me. And it just calls for me to be more mindful about who I'm giving my body to. Be mindful about health in general when it comes to being intimate. Alright. The next thing that traumatized me, and I would say is actually still with me to this day. My mom I was raised primarily by my grandmother until I want to say I was a preteen, so 12. Um, my mom was in the street. She was on drugs heavy. And I witnessed some things, from her being on drugs. Like her breaking into her own house, stealing her own shit, then acting like someone else broke in. I can laugh about it now, but being young and seeing the things that my mom would do to chase that high, I didn't understand, of course, but something inside me just knew, like, my mommy need help as a child. So witnessing her do things like that and even steal things from her own kids, she's stolen things from us and sold it. And I never was mad at my mom. I never was mad. Like, a part of me always understood that it wasn't her. I don't know. Like, I was always very wise and aware at a young age. But I wasn't mad. No. I was mad at how the drugs were making her act. But I wasn't necessarily mad at my mom because I knew it wasn't her. Like, mommy is out here in the street, she's around this crowd and she's doing this. Like, her brain is messed up, is what I always thought. And it's pretty true, So just witnessing the lengths that she would go to just to chase that high, the shit traumatized me. Like, I don't ever want to do drugs. I don't even want to drink. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, I was always afraid that I would become addicted to whatever it is I would pick up. So I was scared. As y'all know, I smoke my weed. But even with the weed, like, I started really smoking weed when I was, 21, 22. Like, I waited for a lot of things. I waited late in life to do a lot of things. Because I was scared. I was, in the back of my mind, it was always there. Like, what if I pick this up and have a hard time putting it down? What if I pick this up and it consumes my mind so much that, now I'm taking from my son to chase that high, because it's not just crack, cocaine. People do weird shit for weed too. I've witnessed someone actually sleep with the bud man just to get, like, no, people do weird shit too for weed. So my mom being on drugs has always tried, and again, still to this day, like, I barely drink. When I do drink, it's the same drink, and I'm making sure that I am either pouring my own drink, or if I'm out, I'm watching that shit be made. Because it's always something in the back of my mind. Not that someone could spike my shit. Not saying that it's possible. But it's always like, don't drink too much. Because don't start to like how this shit feel. Because you might get addicted. Like, pace yourself when you smoke weed because you don't want to get addicted. And I always say, I have the weed. The weed don't got me. Because I can stop smoking whenever I want to. So that shit was traumatic. Like, it's painful to watch someone you love damn near sell their fucking soul to get high. You know what I mean? The last thing that really traumatized me was, I don't even remember how old I was, maybe 8 or 9. I know I was in elementary school, so elementary school age. Um, Came home from school, me and my siblings, and we see, I believe, was the ambulance there yet? I don't think the ambulance was there yet. But we go in the house and we are ushered into one room in the crib. And like I could still hear it. Like um so the crib that we lived in, when you walk in, it's the living room. It was my mom's room at the front, and her door was closed, but I could hear my uncle. Like I could hear my mom crying, and I could hear my uncle crying. And my mom's name is Annette. And he just kept saying, "Nat, please, Nat, please. Don't do this, Nat. Nat, please." I'm young. Me and my siblings were young, but I could just still remember hearing my uncle crying. Like, "Nat, please, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this." And I heard my mom saying, like, "I'm tired, I'm fucking tired, I'm fucking tired of this shit. Just let me go, just let me go." And then now the ambulance is coming in, and my peoples is still, keeping me and my siblings in one room. Like, we still don't know what's going on. But I remember getting out the room somehow, maybe to be a nosy child. And I told y'all my mom was diagnosed with HIV, like, at that point. So what I'm telling you now, she was already diagnosed with HIV. It ties into what the next part I'm about to say. So I get out the room and I go in the kitchen, because the bedroom, the room I was in, is directly across from the kitchen. Get out the room somehow, go into the kitchen, I look on the sink, and I see a knife with blood on it. Now, immediately I'm ushered back to the room, because my mom has HIV. It's, that's her blood on the knife. So the EMTs and stuff get back. You know what I mean? We gotta be careful. So now, my mom, she's taken out. Unc is crying. I think my grandmother was, like, a lot of stuff is a blur, but I remember the parts that I'm telling you. So now later, me and my siblings find out that my mom tried to commit suicide. I asked her one time. It wasn't until I was old enough to understand. But, it's like we didn't talk about it, me and my siblings. Come think about it, I don't really know how it affected them. Like, certain things we just did not discuss. And I remember being older, because my mom, she tried to cut her wrist and she still had the scar. And I asked her one time, like, about it. Like, you remember that time we came home from school You know, like you were crying and you were saying you were tired and Uncle was crying and, you know, asking you not to do this. Now she told us already why the scar was there. You know, mommy tried to hurt herself. That's it. Mommy tried to hurt herself. I'm alright. I got a scar. Bam. But being older and having a conversation with my mom, it what she said to me was she was like, I did it wrong, Mika. I did it wrong. She said I was supposed to go up and down and I went side to side. And, you know, because she's alive and well at this point, she's kind of getting into detail. And she's like, I was, because I had mad questions. Like, I be having questions and shit. You know what I mean? I'm the one like, so why? Okay, did it hurt? How? Why? You know what I mean? Like, I need to know. So she's like, you know, I did it wrong. I went side to side instead of up and down. And she was explaining how she was like, she's like, and I really was trying to, like she said, like saw her hand off damn near with the it was a steak knife too, I remember, with the steak knife. And that shit broke me when she told me that in my older age. Cause finding out that happened, the only thing I kept in the back of my mind is my mommy's tired. She don't want to be here no more. I'm thinking she's mad because, you know, she has this disease, which again is traumatizing in its fucking self, because with finding out she had HIV too, in the back of my mind, I'm like, my mommy could die any day. So that's where the trauma come from, that, like just thinking any day. But as the years went by, and she's still here, and she alright, in good spirits, okay, cool, but still being mindful, hey now, you coughed the wrong way, what's up? You know, you know what I mean? That's 2 times now, you good? You know? So, with my mom attempting suicide, me thinking she's not happy, you know, like maybe she just want to die already because she know that she's gonna die with this disease. I made a promise to myself to, like, I'm gonna make sure that I do what I need to do. I ain't tell nobody this, but again, to myself, I'm gonna make sure I do what I need to do to keep my mom happy. I know it's 4 of us, me and my siblings, but shoot, if I could be like one less problem, one less headache, one less stress, you know what I mean? Like, let me just make sure I be the absolute best daughter I can be to my mom. Because all I was thinking about is, if she's unhappy with life and then she already got this situation with the virus going on, she might try to off herself, and this time she might fucking do it right. I'm young thinking that, though. I'm young thinking that. But even still, now into my teenage years, in my early 20s, I'm still in the back of my mind like, I'm gonna graduate. Yes, I'm pregnant now, but I'm still gonna graduate. I'm gonna get that diploma, and I'm gonna go to some type of like, I wanna make sure my mom is happy. She has some type of happiness. And this is no discredit to my siblings, because of course they made my mom happy. This was just me thinking this. So I just continue to kind of not be a problem, not be a headache to my mom, you know, like, yeah, I did the typical teenage stuff with the attitudes and all that shit. I might have called her a bitch a few times. You know what I mean? I apologize. You know, and I remember too, like, just wanting to constantly, because I really love my mom's smile. Just wanting to constantly see her smile. Now, I got my first job when I was 14, been working ever since. So, I would remember they used to sell, was it Beanie Babies or the little troll dolls, but then they had them little cause you could hang it on your key, like the fur babies. I don't know. Back then it was called Brooks. Now Rite Aid, then Walgreens. You know what I mean? So that was a long time ago. So it was called Brooks. And I would get my mom one of those, or a stuffed animal every day, her favorite candy bar or something, or a nice card. Like, I would just always have something for her. And I didn't know how much my mom appreciated me doing that until one day I came in with just a conversation. Hey, Mom, what's up? How you doing? And she was like, what, you don't, would I do something to you? Because my mom used to be like, what, you mad at me? I did something to you? What's up with you? And I'd be like, no, what's up? Like, where's my teddy bear? Where's my candy bar? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I mean, you know, I just didn't go to the store. It wasn't on purpose. I could go right now. You know what I mean? Like, I could go right now and drop everything I'm doing. But it made me feel good to know that she was looking forward to that shit. And I enjoy buying my mom things, whether it was a stuffed animal to a ring or a necklace or a bracelet, some earrings, some sneakers. You know, my mom loved her Reeboks, you know, sweatpants, you know, her big polo shirts, you know. So that's how her trying to attempt suicide affected me. It just made me want to constantly keep her smiling. And it's like this awareness, right, that I have when, like, if someone comes to me and expresses to me that they're going through something, and especially if they express, like, you know, having thoughts of not being here anymore, it's hard for me to just let you go on about your day, about your life, with me knowing that shit. Like, so I'll constantly call, shoot a text, an email, a kite, a pigeon, whatever. Like, I'm, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I don't want nothing, just checking up on you. You good? Because I know that I can't save everybody, but my mom's attempt, just made me want to do what I can to at least try to save someone that's going through that. Like, I don't care if I don't sleep for 3 days. If me staying up with you for 24, 48, 72 hours is going to get you out of the mindset of wanting to harm yourself, you got me. You got me. And if I feel myself dozing off, I'm going to set an alarm for every 5 minutes. You know, like, it just, like, I will try and fight just so you know, like, you don't have to do this. Like, I know I'm only one person, but I'm here. You know, because I don't know if it's a situation where someone may be feeling alone, you know what I mean, and they want to harm themselves. It could be a number of things, but I will at least try to be there as long as you allow me to. Because if I can prevent you from harming yourself, I'm going to do that. Because who are we to take away the life that was given to us, not the life that we created? You know, where do you think your soul goes? What do you think happens to your soul if you take your own life? Do you think you go on to, you know, have a heavenly party? You know, they got the harps and stuff just waiting for you. Ta-da! Like, where do you think your soul goes when you take your own life? You know. Whew. Okay. That's my trauma. That's my trauma. That's how it affects me till this day. As far as relationships, I am, like I said before, I am just a tad bit more aware when my person's going through something. Not that I'm immediately going to, oh my God, he's had a bad day, he's about to kill. You know what I mean? I'm not immediately going to that. But I'm being mindful. I'm being mindful. I'm being mindful. I even be mindful when I'm dealing with someone who might have more than a few drinks on Tuesdays. You know, might smoke, excuse me, might smoke, more than a few blunts on, I don't know. But I'm just mindful. If my person has their substance of choice, which messing with me, it ain't gonna be nothing hard anyway. But I ain't telling you what to do, play. I'm just saying, I know what I want. And a hard substance abuser, I don't want that. You know, I'm just mindful. You know, if now if I know how you behave when you have a drink or two, and I know how you behave when you smoke your blunts, and I see that you're having your drink or two, you're smoking your blunts, but the behavior is not, you know what I mean, it's not adding up. Now I am going to be mindful of the fact, like, are you consuming more than I actually see? Is something bothering you, which is why you're now consuming more? You know, it just, my traumas honestly just made me become more aware. And when it comes to whatever your trauma may be, you know, but real quick, like, we gotta cut out that fucking trauma bonding. It's not, cause what the fuck we gonna do? Especially if we have not healed from our trauma, we bonding over said trauma, and because we're not healing, what the fuck are we doing? We're hurting other people. We're being triggered. You know, you could be out having a good old time. A song could come on. And because you have not healed yourself from that, that's just going to trigger you. And now you done went from being in a happy dancing mood to, I want to fight this bitch. I don't like the way she looking at me, and I don't like how she looked at my man. So I'm going to say something. But really, like, she ain't got nothing to do with you. He ain't got nothing to do with you. Heal your shit. Trauma bonding hurts you and the person that you're trauma bonding with. Y'all just hurting each other. I'm not saying something we don't already know. we just hurting each other if we gonna build on trauma and continue to inflict that trauma on others who are not deserving of it. We creating a whole world of fucking hurt. Because let's try this on for size, right? Let's picture this real quick. Let's picture the people who, if we left it up to the people who traumatized us to fix that trauma, do you think they would? Some might. But then now let's get into people who have trauma from being touched inappropriately. What I've found, just from knowing people that has happened to, is that 9 times out of 10, of course, the abuser has been abused before. Which doesn't make it okay. But then let's imagine this person who was abused going to someone, telling them what happened and not being believed. The trauma continues. The cycle continues. So if we left it up to the people that traumatized us to heal our trauma, do you think they would? Like, let me refer back to the quote. Our trauma is not our fault, but it's our responsibility to heal it, to heal from it. And there are some people who might think that they are healed from their trauma until that song come on. That person says or does something. They see something. Shit, you can even smell something. And it could bring you back to that moment that traumatized you. If you're someone who is now in your adulthood being triggered by these things, you are in fact not healed yet. We all know it's not too late. It's not too late to heal yourself. It's not too late to take that deep dive into why you're acting this way, you know? Because it may have something to do with something that happened when you were younger. You could have been early 20s and something happened, you know, in your life that traumatized you. It doesn't always have to necessarily be you being a child. But a lot of broken men and broken women are in the light of being broken because they have not healed what traumatized them. We all still have that child in us, right? For me, I speak to the little Tamika, you know, and I apologize to my younger self. Not that it was my fault that I experienced such things at a young age, but I felt the need to apologize to the young me and let the young me know the adult me, the grown ass me, is going to do right by you, little girl. little Tamika Renee Bly, I'ma do right by you. I'ma heal. So that way, the next time I have to tune in to the child that's in me, it's gonna be for a good reason. Not because I'm broken. You know what I mean? Speak to the child in you. Like, you know what I mean when I say speak to the child in you. I know you know what I mean. Speak to the young you. You know, get in tune with be in solitude. You know, a lot of things come to light when people are in solitude. God damn it. Get in solitude. You know, put on some lo-fi, some jazz music. You know, I recommend put on something that ain't got no words. Put on some instrumentals. It could be R&B instrumentals, hip hop instrumentals. Da, 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 da. This works for me, so I'm throwing it out there with the hopes that it might work for you. I get into solitude. I put on some lo-fi. Silence the phones for a second, and I sit. Because 9 times out of 10, you get a lot of clarity while you're in solitude. You know, while you quiet everything else around you, you're opening up your chakras to the voices that you need to hear. You understand what I'm saying? So don't allow your childhood traumas to, you know, stop you from creating that healthy relationship, building that bond with your kid, or taking that next step. You know what I mean? A lot of us, I feel, allow our traumas to hold us back. Let's not do that. The only way from here is up. The only way that you will not go up is if you hold yourself back. Because nobody can hold us back but ourselves, right? So don't beat yourself up if you find that, hey, I still got some shit I need to work on. You human, bro. You human, sis. You human, queen. You human, king. Don't beat yourself up. You got this. Heal from what traumatized you. Because you fucking deserve it, okay? We all deserve to be healed. We don't deserve to be broken grown-ass men and broken grown-ass women just out here frolicking and lollygagging and inflicting all this shit on other people. No. The child in us deserves it. Let the little you know that you got them. I'm gonna work on this so we can be straight. I'm gonna work on this. Okay, work on the little boy and the little girl and you. And I thank y'all for tuning in. Where am I at for time, honey? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. 45er. Oh, wow. I thank y'all for tuning in. Did I miss anything? I don't believe I did. Love up on yourself. Pour into yourself. Over the past couple of days, like, I've been pouring a lot into myself, but when you're used to pouring into yourself, it helps when you have somebody else or others to pour into you, if even for a little bit, you know. Shout out to Big Sis though, because she poured into me and I needed that shit. Pour into yourself, but don't over pour. Leave some room for someone else to possibly pour. No, yeah, love up on you. Know that whatever it is that you have going on right now, this too shall pass. It is not the end all be all. Everything's gonna be okay, not because I'm telling you it's gonna be okay, but because why would it not be? Why? You're not finna just be going through this forever. It may feel like it, but you're not. You got this. I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in yourself. Okay? Because your belief is the only belief that matters. It don't matter what I say. I can tell you anything. It's what you tell yourself. Speak highly of yourself. Speak love into yourself. If you feel like that's a void that needs to be filled, speak that shit into yourself. And I'm going to say it again, love up on you. Because I love me some me. Okay? And if you're able to, share a little bit of that love with someone else. Because there's no point in having all this love to give if you're not sharing it. Use a big chunk for yourself. Share a little bit. You know what I mean? Don't take the whole thing. Just a little bit. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Uncomfortable Conversations. It is me, it is her, it is she, it is I, Miss Tamika Renee Bly. Bam! Bars! Metro! And I'm Audi 5000.